By the way, I've got this set in 1080p, and I have... It's just me, or does the game look worse than it did last time? Let me check. I've got the game set in 1080p, and I've got HDR turned off. Now, obviously, that is going to make the game look a little bit
And it's giving me
different.
that same error message again.
What kind of error message are you getting?
The video download was canceled. Please try again.
Oh, that's just great. I used to stream in 1440p all the time, and now it just doesn't wanna.
Well, I guess I
mean, it's showing up fine in terms of connection, but, yeah.
Where do I go to decrease the quality on this?
So, that's the thing. Amazon took that option away.
Oh, that's retarded.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Alex's stream won't be displayed.
Stun bomb. Seriously, where's my map? Journal, Rabbi Saunders' letter, WLF supply, map of Seattle, there we go.
Alright, so...
Okay.
So yeah, Alex has seen the new Superman movie. It's terrible.
Yes. No, unsurprisingly, from anybody who's watched the various streams we've done about this subject, Jimmy Pew Pew's Superman Legacy is not very good.
Yeah. And the worst part
is... This isn't the official post-Superman panel, because only, of the people who are here, I think Kevin and I are the only ones who have seen it.
Well, I haven't fully watched it. I watched 20 minutes of it, and then I was like, yeah, I don't... And for the record, no, I don't care for spoilers. I don't care about spoilers, just...
I was gonna say, because if you... I thought that you'd gone back and finished it, but yeah,
I was not able to.
If you haven't, that's perfectly understandable.
Yeah, so...
Here.
I don't care if you spoil the movie for me. In fact, I would rather you spoil the movie for me. Yeah, I am planning on finishing my viewing of that dumpster fire. But here's the thing. Like, literally the first minute of the movie, and I already have questions. Questions that don't appear to... that I do not expect... that I am not going to expect an answer. Or from...
I increased the resolution, and the visual quality of the game did not appreciably increase. And I am running it on a 1080p monitor. Oh, 14. It's a 4K monitor. Fuck. It's a 4K monitor. I've had a 4K monitor for years. Okay, so yeah, well...
Like, Alex, before you get into it, let me give you a breakdown as to... as to how bad this film starts. So, in the first minute, the film ends with a bland, icy field that is lit up as though it were consistently daytime. I'm like, wow, we're going for
we actually have gas? I thought...
We're going for the blandest setting. For where this Fortress of Solitude will be.
Yeah, okay, so I have to bring this up. Did you notice that, they changed where the Fortress of Solitude is?
I guess so.
Because, you know, typically, Fortress of Solitude is at the hall, right? Like, I'm not crazy, I didn't fuck that up, I'm not completely off my rocker. The Fortress of Solitude is supposed to be at the North Pole, right?
Right.
Why is it in Antarctica in this movie?
And then, of course, so, literally in the first minute of the film, we have what I consider probably the worst attempt at world building I have ever seen in my goddamn life.
Oh, yeah, it's... okay, so in terms of this film has a really, really bad opening text. Not exactly what I'd call crawl, more like vomit. And it's white text on a white background.
Yeah, so
it's fucking
like
white text on a white background. I know.
Text on a white background. That is such a rookie mistake.
No, it doesn't have a fucking drop shadow either.
Okay, so it says in the first minute we have this thing where it says, 300 years ago, the first metahuman was sighted, which
that's not fucking true.
Yeah, that already ends up raising a few questions.
By the way, 300 years ago, that's 1725.
Yep.
1725. That's pre-revolution, but
and here's
the
thing.
The kind of thing that this is giving me off the same kind of vibes as Michael Bay's Transformers, where they retconned fucking Autobots into the Revolutionary War and shit, you know?
Yeah. And
the
not
building
only
of the pyramids and whatnot.
And not only do we have all of this to go through, but we also have the fact that at Vandal Savage and the Greek gods exist in the DC universe.
Yes. So Hercules, and this is not something I'm making up. This is in real life. The real life Hercules lived over 1,000 years ago. And if we're going by this film's nebulous definition of what the fuck a metahuman is, yeah, see, the game just didn't let me. The game explicitly said, "Oh, don't get the gas until you've killed all the zombies," and then it just gave me the gas. And Dina said, "Hey, don't leave without getting the gas," but I left without getting the gas, and the game let me have the gas anyways.
Wow,
okay.
That seems like a problem.
Wonderful
Technically,
game.
This game is completely flawless. There is no fault with Naughty Dog games.
Now
all I can say is suck it,
Anyway, so after all of that nonsense, it's like not only do we have 300 years ago the first metahuman sighted, which again is complete bullshit. The film then proceeds to try to say, 30 years ago, Kal-El had landed in a small, in Smallville.
Kal-El landed in Smallville and was found by the Kents. Yeah, okay.
That sort of checks out, but
it's where the rest of it goes. So this opening text crawl 5, 3,
and too many times the question on my mind was years from when.
So 300 years ago from now, like I said, that's 1725. 30 years ago is 1995, which means Superman is only 2 years older than me. And then 3 years ago, meaning 2022? 3 years ago, Superman revealed himself to the world. I mean, he should have been operating as Superboy before that, if you're drawing directly from the comics, which they've directly Infected hop the fence. Infected are smart enough to hop fences. Okay, that's fucking great. Okay, so yeah, if this film is really trying to be quote-unquote comic accurate, Superboy should have been operating by this point. He should have had a run-in. We should have had run-ins with Wonder Woman and the League of Superheroes and whatnot.
Yeah, and then of course we had 3 years later, which ends up yeah, 3 years before, or the events of the film take place, is we end up getting. It ends up revealing. Kal-El had revealed himself. Clark Kent had revealed himself as Superman.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks.
Not like revealed his secret identity. Revealed, like
made his debut.
Made his debut as Superman. By the way, that debut exists in the book. It's called Superman Welcome to Metropolis.
Yeah, and guess what? It's in a prequel thing that has some massive contradictions here and there. Whoopee!
Yeah.
Hey, so
you put out tie-in material that directly contradicts something that happens within the first 20 minutes of this fucking movie. Congratulations, guys. You fucked up. You fucked up big time.
And then, of course, which, by the way, that tie-in material also has Metallo.
Yeah.
You know, voiced by Malcolm McDowell and everything.
Yeah, so this thing starts off with the inciting incident of why Lex Luthor hates Superman is because Lex had his goons. God damn it.
Lex had his goons. God damn it.
What the hell was that?
You mean they fell down into the sewer?
So Lex had his goons destroying a shipment of toys. And
toys?
Yeah, no, so this is some Silver Age bullshit, but not in the way you think. So one of his competitors, they don't explain who, was shipping weapons and weapon parts in a shipment of toys. Now, if you're thinking that sounds exactly like the drug shipment from Batman Begins, you're correct.
Oh, whoopee.
Yeah. So anyways, Lex sent his goons to destroy the shipment to prevent whatever his competitor was from being able to
produce crack.
To produce whatever weapons he was supposed to. They were doing something. And then Superman intervenes, and that gets Clark his job on the Daily Planet because he reports on that as like, hey, Clark Kent has the exclusive scoop on Superman, the big new hero in town. And then he sells that to the Daily Planet, and that gets him his job there. We don't get to see the development of his relationship with the Kents. We don't get to see the creation of the Fortress of Solitude. We don't get to see how, spoiler warning, Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, and Kendra Saunders find out that he's Clark Kent.
Yeah, Perry White knows.
Perry White knows too, but you know,
I don't know why Perry White is one of the people that absolutely needs to know that Clark Kent is Superman.
Well, he doesn't need to know it; he just does by the end of this film.
He just was waiting for the right time to.
Yeah, and not only do we have all that piss poor or attempt at world building, we also have we also
damn it, Ellie, buy a sword or build one.
3 weeks before the events of the film, Superman ended up stopping a terrorism war from happening.
So a country called Bravia was invading another country called Jaranpur, and Jaranpur is apparently like the Jaranpur is like. So they're trying to say that that this is an allegory for like Russia and Ukraine because the leader of Bravia is clearly like a Vladimir Putin stand-in, except he has Benjamin Netanyahu's hair. Or kind of. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked at a picture of Bibi lately, but there's also like some really heavy-handed allegories for the Middle East. You know, like for instance, you know, the Israel-Palestine thing, which James Gunn insisted was not in the film. James Gunn is a fucking liar. We all know this by now.
Dad, take it easy, you fucking liar.
He's a liar.
Take it easy. Anyways.
Also, and as Superman is
okay,
whistling to
guys,
Crypto...
I have to take umbrage with this storage here. I happen to know that these tanks were made to hold water, not fucking fuel. I know that because my dad owns one. Like he uses it as a fish tank. Like the gasoline is actively going to dissolve the inner walls of this thing. There's a reason why they use other materials. World building in The Last of Us, not particularly well paid attention to. So the thing's
probably gonna be like just demolished or like destroyed slowly.
It's gonna melt. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I figured as much.
Not Last of Us. Superman. Yeah. So as a result of Superman's actions stopping a war in the Middle East, which is something that was done in Injustice, Gods Among Us, if you'll recall. It's funny how everything that we do keeps relating its way back to Injustice somehow, Kevin.
Yeah.
Riveting.
Yeah, they sent a guy called the Hammer of Baravia out to
beat up Superman,
beat up Superman.
And Superman takes his quote-unquote first L.
Yeah, and so Superman gets beaten to hell in a battle in Metropolis against the Hammer of Baravia, who then goes out and he starts just destroying parts of Metropolis. The fact that he's in Metropolis already, claiming responsibility for is like, hey, I am the Hammer of Baravia. Excuse me, and I will not we will not tolerate aggression from this Superman guy, right? Spectre checkpoint work.
And then of course, meanwhile with Superman,
Isaac is the commander.
The engineer ends up crafting ends up finding Superman's HQ and reports back to not so sexy Lexi.
Yeah, as played by Beast from the X-Men movies. Sadly, not Kelsey Grammer, but Nicholas Hoult is good too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, but I'm like, somehow they made a weaker version of Lex Luthor than Jesse Eisenberg.
Well,
you could argue at the very least that Eisenberg at least had some semblance of a build on him, whereas Nicholas Hoult looks so skinny and not imposing in the slightest.
Now, I understand that is kind of on purpose. He's supposed to be the brains over brawn type. They literally say that to to the audience in this movie. Almost like we could have maybe tagged along with Tommy and helped him.
And here's the
anyways.
And another thing is like even in Superman the Animated Series, when Lex is played by the Kurgan, and whom I still say is the definitive portrayal of Lex Luthor.
Not wrong there. He had a good voice.
I'd agree, Lex. Whenever I read Lex Luthor's dialogue in my head, I always imagine him having that sort of baritone gravitas.
Yes, he's played by Mr. Krabs himself.
Superman, me boy!
Yeah.
Ah, Superman, me boy!
Before we get before we get too far
I did find some of the
along
casting choices interesting that weren't carried over. I think it was like Charlie Shadler played Flash, but no, it was only in that series.
And then the guy who played Lex in Smallville played him. Yeah,
Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum, yeah. So before we get too far along, so a superhuman working for a foreign government shows up and starts recreating 9/11, but with laser eyes and a giant suit that looks like a cross between the Juggernaut and one of the Israeli golem statues that they keep out there, which I'm sure is a massive coincidence. I'm sure that there's no anti-Israel sentiments in there whatsoever. That's sarcasm. I have a feeling this has got to be war, right? Like this is grounds for a declaration of war. That's not unreasonable. Am I going crazy to think that that's...
No.
Okay, because here's the thing. The United States is part of and the principal funder of a little organization called NATO. Now, NATO has a team that is essentially the G.I. Joe squad, right? And I'm not talking metaphorically, I'm talking literally. Like they have the fucking jump jet, they have the weapons, they have everything. Like they can go anywhere in a matter of not even hours and just take apart a regime if they really want to, you know? Like if they have to, G.I. Joe is there. Not even fucking kidding. So war, right? Baravia, you attacked Metropolis, which is, I know that they say it's in Delaware, but, it essentially looks like New York City. So, I'm sending in fucking, it's like, this is another question, where's the fucking Justice Gang? Because the Justice Gang exists, Superman knows them, they are explicitly his friends. Which
except for maybe Metamorpho, but...
Oh, Metamorpho's not part of the Justice Gang yet, but, like, the Justice Gang are explicitly stated to be his friends and colleagues, and, like, he's not specifically part of the crew. It's kind of like his relationship to the Justice Society early on, where, like, he was part of it, but barely, and then he's, like, friendly with them. And Gunn is attempting to pull a deep cut on this and failing because I think I'm the only one who actually remembers that Superman was part of the Justice Society back in the day. But, anyways, like when they're explicitly cited as being his friends and allies, I feel like this is something. This battle went on for 3 hours and then just stopped, which is kind of like this movie. This movie goes on for about 2 hours and then just stops, but we'll get there. Oh my god, it was a mine.
I could have seen that coming.
We didn't even have a... Okay, well, you bastard, you're gonna have to die. Anyways, so in a 3-hour battle, right, I kind of feel like... God damn it, Ellie, get up!
I kind of feel like, god damn it, Ellie, get up.
Oh, would you look at that? It's Fat Brock Lesnar.
Oh, God. When did you get here?
Anyways. Fucking texture popping!
Whoops.
Oh, damn. Okay, so yeah, 3-hour battle. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the battle against Doomsday in the comics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened in that?
Yeah.
Superman wasn't the only one fucking fighting him.
Yeah, the Justice League were all there.
The Justice League showed up first, and then Superman showed up, and the Justice League helped, and then...
Just like... And also very similarly to the Death of Superman film.
Yes. But here's the thing. Even that movie had the fucking Justice League do something in it. Albeit
a very small Justice League.
Yeah, a very small version of them.
It still had the main members of the league participating.
Come on,
in this.
Come on, listen to Fat Brock Lesnar. Listen to Fat Brock Lesnar. Just fucking shoot her already.
Just get it over with.
Oh, would you look at that? It's Dina. Hi, Dina. I hope she doesn't have any medical conditions that might cause that fall to be immensely damaging to her body.
Especially ones such as pregnancy.
Oh, it's a one-time event. God damn it. Actually, I'm just gonna sit here. I wonder if the game's gonna... Will the game actually kill her? Oh, come on, Dina. You had it! You fucking had it, and all you had to do was turn into it. Turn in, and bump his leg, and ride him all the way to the goddamn ground. That is not how a neck break works.
And, of course, it's like going it... I have to agree with Jeremy Johns on some of this stuff. It's like he ends up going into detail about how about how John Wick was a far better figure of authority to a dog than Superman.
Oh, John Wick did something better than the James Gunn movie? Shocking fucking awe. It's almost like Keanu Reeves actually cares about his craft and insists on working with directors who actually give a good goddamn, but, you know. Anyways, yeah, so James Gunn desperately wants to have his cake into this film, so things just happen. Don't waste a bullet, he's already dead. Things just happen. And apparently this film has been edited from sort of like a pseudo-episodic anthology series into a more flowy movie thing. It's not. So I have a very small list of rules that I like movies to adhere to. And, you know, one of them is, you know, making a degree of sense, but another is not stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting, and that's one of my big problems with Superman the movie, is that it keeps stopping and starting. Like, there's just times where the film stops and resets, and this film does that all the time. This film does it more than Superman the movie. This film is every bad thing about Superman the movie, and every bad thing about All-Star Superman. All-Star Superman's not bad, but it's every bad thing about every Superman thing that's existed and everything that James Gunn has made, all rolled into one absurd little package.
Wow.
And it... Okay, so I've got a conveniently placed cover. So the Justice Gang appear quite prominently, and like Kevin said, Metallo is in the Welcome to Metropolis book. And that outright contradicts that outright contradicts the whole thing. Because Superman loses the third fight against Metallo. So there's... No, the second fight. So there's 2 fights against Metallo. There's the first fight where he is, where he doesn't have the Kryptonite heart. The second fight against him, he does have the Kryptonite heart, and Lex has, like, framed Superman for killing Metallo. So what he does is he
That's literally
hires...
Superman, Batman, public enemies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's essentially public enemies, except it's not good.
I still will always remember, Alex, that you said that Rescue Heroes the movie had better CGI.
I was incorrect, Kevin. I was incorrect, and I will never live that the fuck down.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so when this was back during our early days before we formed.
Yeah, this was back before we had a dedicated channel for all this. We were just streaming over on my old channel.
And on my channel too.
Yeah, and yours. Wow.
So we ended up essentially there was a point where, like, oh my, who did we walk in on now? So, we ended that commentary on Alex believing that the CGI on the wing of the bat thing that was on the Superman Batman rocket, it had such bad CGI that even the Rescue Heroes movie, it looked better. We ended up much later, we ended up watching the Rescue Heroes movie.
Yes. And I believe I was the one who had the most bad things to say about it, ironically.
And I ended up just saying throughout the film that King Ghidorah was doing some stuff because of the bullshit that was in that film. So...
What universe can you shoot somebody in the head and they don't at least fall over?
Ask Deadpool.
Yeah, but that's Deadpool.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And at the very least, it's justified since the bullet didn't fully go through.
Yeah, Justice Gang, Superman, stupid things. Yeah, so Superman loses a fight against Metallo, and the Justice Gang have to take care of Metallo for him. Repeat, the Justice Gang has to take care of a Superman villain for Superman. Not to say the Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl couldn't do that. It's just really weird that you have them do that.
And plus,
everything is a fucking team up now. Everything is a fucking crossover, and I know that.
People said that Batman v Superman was cluttered.
Batman v Superman is downright tame compared to this. At least BVS has things that has like a coherent flow. It has good cinematography. It doesn't have like the worst fucking visual effects I've seen in a movie that cost this much, at least since the fucking Flush.
And remember,
Captain America looks worse than this, arguably.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, Cap 4, Captain Falcon versus Red Hulk.
Which shouldn't be a scenario that happens in any universe.
Hey, can I take your gun? Your gun is on the fucking floor.
And the worst part is that Superman ends up doing a brief fight with Hammer of Baravia. Goes down, and then the citizens of Metropolis talk about how Superman saved them so many times, to the point where I'm like, give me a shame that we didn't get to see any of those.
I know.
Oh wait, we don't.
Well, yeah, no, they tell us this. Like the falafel guy who helps Superman up out of the hole when the Hammer of Baravia throws him down onto the floor. He's just like, oh, Superman, you've saved us so many times. I can only help you do this once. And it's like, I don't fucking care. This is terrible. This dialogue is awful.
Jesus Christ,
What?
who wrote
Seriously?
This?
James Gunn wrote and directed this film.
Yeah.
Come on, drop some fucking ammo. Drop some ammo, you dense son of a bitch.
Give me all of the ammo.
So yeah, then Superman just kind of flies up, and Mr. Hammer of Baravia just fucks right off.
Yeah, and then so here's the thing. He lands on Lex Luthor's beachside secret base.
Which is a thing.
Which is beachside secret base, first off. That's a problem. And then thank fucking God.
And then thank fucking God.
Ammo. And I'm dead. Anyways. Oh yeah, the whole thing, we skipped over Superman. So Krypto does this stupid shit where he like bounces on top of Superman and when he's wounded, you know.
Which already raises some red flags.
Well, yeah, that's some of the...
Tells us that Superman can't control his dog.
Can't control his dog that has greater than average human intelligence and would most likely not to do something that stupid, but, you know, this is a James Gunn movie. Getting the details right was never his strong suit, even going back as far as Scooby-Doo.
And yet
I like Scooby-Doo, but that film has problems.
And yet people will insist that James Gunn is so much better than Zack Snyder when it comes to getting details.
Man, you know, there's some shit that happens later in this film, and I never want to hear anything from BVS haters ever again. Because, dear God...
Alex, you know that's not gonna be... You know, that's just...
Wishful thinking on my part? I know.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking on your part because a lot of BVS haters, you know, laterally love this movie.
Well, I do appreciate...
And here's the thing.
I do appreciate, though, how a bunch of people who are ardent Snyder haters have come out and said, it's like, yeah, this film is dog shit. Like, it warmed my heart.
Cad, who I add one of the artists I go to, who doesn't really like Snyder's adaptation of Superman, has outright said, yeah, this film is disappointing. And even though he believes that James Gunn's Superman holds up, Clark's morals and principles better than Snyder's did, and I'm like, I will respectfully disagree with you on that one, but at the same time, I will respect your opinion. And otherwise,
anyways, so this is in the middle of the battle. Superman like flies off, goes off to the Fortress of Solitude, where there is this hyper-focus light thing that's supposed to heal him, right?
Yeah.
And the Superman robots, which are they're supposed to be Fortress robots, but the Fortress robots and the Superman robots are different things, James Gunn. I know that you don't know that. I know that you don't care, but the Superman robots are robots that look like Superman. They're androids that are programmed to stand in for Superman when Clark Kent has to be somewhere. The Fortress bots, like the fucking ones from All-Star and all that you desperately fucking aped and fucking didn't use the designs of, those are different robots. They're not the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because I know that because I've read the fucking comics.
Hell, even Superman versus the Elite got that detail right.
Yeah.
And I know you've had issues with that movie. But the thing is,
still a good movie.
It's actually my favorite animated Superman film.
I can see why. It's a good movie. It's got some niggling in the fine details, but it got the broad strokes correct. Which is more than we can say for this fucking movie.
Yeah, and George Newbern really knocked it out of the park as Superman. Yeah.
Even the most obvious fucking things this film gets wrong, but we'll get to that. So, Superman fucks off in the middle of the fight, and the Hammer keeps tearing up Metropolis, and nobody, the Justice Gang, doesn't go and stop him. It's like, hey, you're in American territory here. Like, maybe fuck off.
Okay, so
maybe we should arrest this guy.
So for people who would try to get on Alex's case for this, is after the Justice League was formed in the DCAU, anytime there was like a threat that one leaguer can't handle on their own, other leaguers would immediately join in.
I know.
And like literally in the second two-parter of Justice League, we see a Superman and Flash going up against a couple of Manhunter. Then Martian Manhunter shows up when they're not enough. And John Stewart shows up and ends up stopping it by explaining, hey, so these guys are here for something I may or may not have ended up doing. And even though Batman isn't, and of course, since John this is kind of important, kind of a big deal to John Stewart, Shira is also going to end up getting involved as well. Also,
God damn it, Emily.
So then
I told you to grab the thing and then crouch, and you didn't do either of those.
So then John ends up. John Stewart ends up standing in trial, and guess what? Superman, Shira, and Jean go off to do detective work, while.
Oh yeah, detective work. That's not something that happens in this fucking movie.
Yeah, some people forget that Clark Kent is just as good a detective.
He's an investigative reporter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We also got some new. Those to bring up.
We got some
up the
news to bring up between us complaining about this movie.
So before we continue, rest in peace, James Carter Cathcart. Whom was one of the
only keep this fucking place mode.
Who was one of the
longest running VAs who have been involved with Pokemon since its beginning.
Yeah, and
he was there since day one.
So now for both 4Kids and TPCI, we only have one member of Team Rocket that's still alive in terms of its lineup. For the 4Kids lineup, it's Eric Stewart.
I did not say to do that.
TPCI lineup, it's Michelle Knotts.
Unfortunately.
And the one of the older voice actors for Meowth, Price.
Yeah, Matthew Sussman's still around.
Oh, okay. So we still have a Meowth voice, just not Maddie Blaustein. Not Maddie Blaustein.
Apparently, I heard Matthew Sussman is starting to get into the group of conventions now.
By the way, John Wick Hex is going to be the John Wick game made by Mike Bethel. Go check it out. It's on the Humble Bundle for $3. It is getting delisted from Steam soon, so go buy it from Humble Bundle before the game is gone forever.
Which game is it?
John Wick Hex. Look for it on the Humble Bundle because it is not on sale on Steam. It is available for purchase, but it's like $19.99 and it's like $3 on Humble.
Huh.
So, but getting into what I'm playing right now, so Lord Crump had decided to bring out another mech, which is known as the Magnus von Grapple 2.0. And if you're doing a Superguard only run, I pray for you, because this boss makes that almost impossible unless you can frame perfect him. Let's bring out Bobbery. And I do like the remix that they did for this one, because it makes the boss fight a little more distinct versus the original, where it's just the same Magnus von Grapple whole theme.
That guy almost stumbled upon the body. What the fuck, Ellie? Why didn't you crouch back down? I don't even know if that hit.
Oh dear, here we go. This is the attack that I was talking about with that would pose an issue for the Superguard only people. Ugh.
So Alan Tudyk voices Gary, who is the prime Superbot, even though he's number 4, right?
Yeah.
And James Gunn's wife voices one of them as well, and it's the one
because of course.
It's the one who has a crush on Superman, of course. But, you know, I'm wise to your antics now, Jimmy. Do I have enough supplements?
Here we go again. Look at that. Look at how much damage he did.
God damn.
Maximum health. Endure. Oh, his lethal damage will leave you at low health. I have to do that to unlock? Fucking... You made the crafting system worse. It was bad before, and you made it worse for the upgrade system. And technically, the crafting system is fine. The upgrade system is the thing that's the problem. Anyways. Yeah, so they play... Gary plays this message from Jor-El and Lara Lorvan, played by Bradley Cooper and some chick from Westworld, respectively, and it... Like, he tells us, or Superman, or perhaps the new chick, all about the message, even though all parties present should be more than capable of already, should already know all of this. Come down here and help me look for supplies, Dana. Fuck it. Anyways, yeah, everybody in this scene should know. And, you know, you could have gotten away with a lot of show don't tell. Like, but we don't need for Gary to tell us that hearing the message from his parents soothes him. You could have literally just played it and shown us it's soothing him. Radical idea, I know!
But they don't, because this movie is all tell, don't show.
This movie, yeah, it tells us about things that happened. It tells us about things that happen.
But then we don't see
Superman in the book.
being...
By the way, in the book, the movie and the book are both written in fluent exposition. And in the book, they do this too.
That's
so
stupid.
they find, in the book, they find kryptonite off-screen.
Because of course
Or
they do.
Off-page. They don't tell you where they got kryptonite, and the kryptonite that's there doesn't get destroyed. Even though the film says that, oh, all kryptonite has been destroyed. Why? Why did you have to say that?
Yeah, why?
There's plenty of things that they could have done. One thing that, so one of the things that that you could have done, so they have access to Metamorpho, right? And that's shown in the trailers. What they and they have access to, spoilers, a Superman clone. Now,
that is a Superboy or Bizarro.
No, he's basically just Subject 14 from Young Justice. Powerful, burly, clony, and completely taciturn.
Vegeta, he stole your due! I'll kill him! Sorry, I couldn't resist after hearing taciturn. Because literally that abridgment of Super Android 13, the first time I've ever heard the term taciturn. I wish I was kidding.
Huh.
Completely taciturn and perfect.
I hope so. But, yeah, so Ultraman is a Superman clone, and, you know, given the fact that you have access to a man who can make anything, and a clone of the Man of Steel, you know what you could have done? You could have brute forced the fucking thing. Had Metamorpho create a goddamn, anything, right up until Ultraman flinches. Like, it's not difficult to pull this shit off. You don't have to resort to exposition for every single fucking line. But yeah, no, okay, so Hammer Bravia beats up Superman, and even though he more than outclasses Superman,
let's also not forget the engineer who managed to find the Fortress of Solitude just as Superman was leaving, and of course we also have to have a fucking joke about how Krypto ruined the fortress after Superman was 83% healed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a problem too. So Superman, this is the most relaxed, tension-filled movie I've ever seen. So Superman's in the middle of this battle, and he stops to scold the dog rather than looking. Here's what you could do to tell this exact same story in less time. Superman looks at the dog. Superman looks at the destruction. He looks at the dog. He, sees like Krypto messing with something, sighs, and flies away because he's got work to do,
He's like, don't have time to deal with you right now.
Don't have time for this shit. Gonna have to go deal with this later. But no, the film stops. You almost wouldn't think that there was a, from here on out, all trespassers will send additional units to locate the other woman, return to FOB by EOD, forward operating base by end of day, bring all available supplies. Yeah, you could have done anything. James Gunn used to be a great filmmaker. James Gunn used to know how to tell a story with words and images. I don't know what happened, but it's at some point between Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and now, he's just lost his fucking mind. And once again, I blame Mike Cernovich for all of this. Because, you know, when in doubt, he's the one who got James Gunn fired. So, you know. But, regardless of that, you know, opening title, Superman flies, goes to fight with the Hammer, Hammer beats him up some more, or, Lex's goons are like, oh, it's a shame that there aren't any casualties. Somehow there aren't any casualties in this scene where the Superman clone is destroying parts of the city. Minor injuries, no dead.
Rip.
I don't believe you. And then Clark goes back to the Daily Planet and talks about the battle as Clark Kent is like, yeah, I got the inside scoop from Superman. And then he has this like little back and forth with him and Lois and Jimmy, and there's like Perry White. Apparently, Perry White's wife cheated on him with Lex Luthor. I found out about that through an interview with the guy who plays Perry, not the actual movie. But he doesn't like Lex Luthor, or because his wife cheated on him with Lex, and one of his kids might actually be Lex's illegitimate son.
Yeah.
I don't know why they decided that was something that needed to happen in this movie. You know, it's not even something that really happened in the movie. It's just a thing that is tangential to the film. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I gotta admit. But whatever. There's all this back and forth, and then Lois goes home and reveals that she knows who Clark is, and yada yada, and is like, oh, this stuff about you interviewing yourself is highly unethical, and is like, you're fucking him. And you want to interview him. And she does. And is like, oh, you'll really grant me an interview with you as Clark, and with you as Superman. And it's like, what the fuck? The book that is explicitly a prequel to this fucking movie ends with him giving her a goddamn interview. I hate so much. It's bad. It's really fucking bad.
God damn it.
And then the interview goes poorly, as we saw in the trailer. Everybody has a PS3 in the future.
Oh, riveting.
Yeah, the interview goes poorly, and Lois is talking about breaking up, and she's not good at relationships, yada, yada, yada. This is approximately the third second act low point we've had in the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Superman's like, I saved people!
Yeah, like, they're both of them just come across as childish.
And yet people will say, oh, they have more sexual chemistry than Henry Cavill and Amy Adams. And I'm like...
I mean, in the behind the scenes and interviews and shit like that, sure, I'm 99% sure Rachel Brosnahan was flashing her underwear or at David Corn's sweat like she was the cameraman who shot that... shot that little promo piece for him. I'm sure they were banging on every desk in the Daily Planet set, but in the movie, they come across like they're supposedly 3 months into a relationship, 3 years into knowing each other, and it's just... God damn it, why is there pop-in on a flashlight? Anyways. Yeah, interview goes poorly. Both of them should have known better than to say what they do in this circumstance, and then Lex breaks into the Fortress of Solitude using Ultraman. They track place and kidnap Crypto.
Oh, and they also have a scene where the engineer just has this weird thing where the engineer... She doesn't just turn around. No, she does a half backflip. Then and the Nana Ice just make her appear as though she's turned around. And I'm like, this is complete... This is straight up Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. But
I was gonna say the Twin Snakes version of Terminator 2, except not good. Because Terminator 2 did that. It did it better, and it looked better, and that was 30 years ago.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Terminator 2 is objectively the greatest film ever made, and I will take no arguments.
One of the greatest films ever made.
No, I will say it is the best. I will take no arguments to the contrary.
You know, Alex, here's a thought. What if what if we just not do any more Terminator stuff? It just went straight on to something a bit more interesting.
Nah, we've still got the rest of Season 1, all of Season 2, and 2 terrible movies and an animated series to get through.
You don't have to do any of that, Alex.
I don't have to, but it would be remiss of me not to.
It wouldn't be remiss of me not to.
Alright. But, yeah, the engineer somehow manages to interface with the central computer in the Fortress of Solitude. And, I don't know how that worked. At the very least, when Cyborg did that in Justice League, it was a physical key that he was able to recreate, rather than... Because you can pick a lot, right?
Yeah.
But interfacing with a computer, it's like, if you've ever tried to make something that was built for Mac work on PC, or vice versa, like, you know that's a bitch and a half to work around. And like, I have a hard drive that was meant for Macintosh and iOS and whatnot, and it took me a little bit to get it to actually work right on my computer.
Alright, I got another
and then,
trouble involving the gold of bombs.
Fedra collaborators will be executed. Permission required for leaving the signs zone. Curfew will stand in effect until... Oh! You have rules, and yet you're the Liberation Front. Do you know, why are you going on ahead when I'm trying to steal things?
Okay, Alex.
Probably pretty high, but I don't fucking care.
So I know I'm going to end up spoiling something that I'm going to be releasing in August, but
yes.
I want to read the opening line into my to this thing that I'm working on.
Digiman?
Yes. It says as the following: August 1st, 2013. It was the coldest recorded summer day in history, but it was also the day that kickstarted our biggest adventure. What does that tell you?
Oh, that tells you that's that's great. That's a great line. That gets you excited. That gets you intrigued. It's like, oh, it's an unusual day. It seems like it might be a little bit miserable. Well, considering what you were expecting, you know. Oh, but hey, the biggest adventure. We're going on an adventure, to quote Bilbo Baggins.
And literally, the first scene tells us exactly where our heroes are. Because I established a location, and I've already established a date.
Yeah. Location, date, time. We know what's going on.
Yes.
I hate walking upstairs like this in real life. They're so fucking slippery. Especially when they haven't been maintained properly. That's the obvious way forward, so I'm just going to run around here.
I'm gonna go put the last crystal star in for a reason that has to do with this upcoming trouble.
Kind of reminds me of the motel level in Left 4 Dead 2, which is a game I'd rather be playing right now, but can't because I have a review to work on.
So yeah, I feel like I haven't sacrificed the concept of establishing a setting.
Well, one of the things that really struck me about this was how inefficiently the story is told and how poorly the world is established. Like, this goes back to my own work, you know? Well, in Two Men in the Sky, the first chapter in the DC universe starts off with, this is like here's the Justice League. It's, you know, it's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Aquaman, you know? It's like, we have, here's our characters, here's what's going on. And it's like,
Let me read off of the opening to something that actually is done. The opening, in quote, is something that's actually done. The year is 1942. Nazi Germany has just acquired a new weapon with which they intend to subjugate the world. In our time of need, the United States Army calls upon many, but only one is able to rise up and meet the challenge. And he's just a kid from Brooklyn.
And that's a fucking summary. That's a summary from Project Rebirth.
Yeah.
And that tells you more than that tells you more in one fucking paragraph. I'm sorry, I was distracted by the fact that Asian man looks exactly like the other Asian man that we killed earlier. Did you only have one fucking NPC model?
Yeah, we're not going right into the Palace of Shadow yet. Because we got some troubles to do, and we've got a hell of an ordeal to deal with.
Hell, that was my fault. Yeah,
Anybody who's ever played this game knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's the pit. 100 trials.
So, there's more issues to go over. One of the big ones is that, so a kaiju, like a skyscraper-sized kaiju, is released in the city by Lex's henchgoons, right? And furthermore, that was also my fault. Furthermore, they release this thing in the middle of the night, and then by the end of the day, by morning, it's the size of a building. Now, that is not a problem in and of itself. The problem is that it starts its rampage only after it's grown to the height of a giant skyscraper, and so, like, there should be somebody should have noticed it beforehand. And they mention as like, oh, it was seen like it was the size of a dog or whatever at some department store, and then it's the size of a building. And I find it to have a lack of credibility because they just don't They don't, and this is the debut of the Justice Gang in the movie. Like the Justice Gang shows up and they're like, hey,
cut that out.
Hey, cut that out! And a big fucking monster, or fucking around in the city.
Also,
yeah.
I don't care how accurate Guy Gardner's bowl cut is. First of all, no, he should not be played by Nathan Fillion.
No, Nathan Fillion is fucking Hal Jordan. And Hal Jordan is played by somebody else in this universe, so...
Josh Brolin.
Yeah. Is it Josh Brolin or is it somebody else?
It's pretty much confirmed to be Josh Brolin.
It looks like it. The guy who looks like Josh Brolin, but he's like discount Josh Brolin.
Because I was like laughing earlier because the whole like Eisen joke, it's original.
No, for fuck's sake, Dina.
You're thinking Josh Groban. I'm saying Josh Brolin.
Okay.
Thanos.
Okay. Right.
Personally, I would rather have Tom Cruise wearing heels.
Tom Cruise in heels. That's
something No, just imagine...
Tom Cruise on stilts, yeah.
No, just imagine Tom Cruise in high heels. He'll be like, hey, y'all, I'm Hal Jordan. Look at these fabulous shoes I've got on.
His opportunity to finally destroy that closet. But anyways, the Superman and the Justice Gang fight this kaiju creature. Well, it doesn't have a name. They just call it the kaiju. Like, real creative fucking name, guys. Big monster kaiju. Subtle. And then Lex Luthor broadcasts the fully decrypted, fully descrambled message from Jor-El and Lara Lorvan.
Which then translates to
it amounts
all the bitches and kill anybody who disagrees with you.
Yeah. And that causes... I don't never want to hear nothing from anybody who said that any of the shit that happened in Man of Steel or BVS or the scrap plans, like the things that didn't even come close to being made into a reality in Justice League and the other potential sequels. Well, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't fucking want to hear it from anybody about this shit.
Unfortunately, we are going to end up hearing about it because there are still weirdos that are praising this movie to high heaven.
Yeah.
Because they love the bare minimum.
There's not even a bare fucking minimum. Yeah, this is a great idea. Well, anyways, the big thing that bugs me about this is that... So Lex goes on the fucking news to talk about this, rather than leaking the information to the press, or putting it out online on YouTube or something like that, or literally anything that would have made some modicum of sense. But, the fact that he broke into Superman's house and stole shit from his computer that he had to decrypt actively, and then people who haven't even looked at the goddamn data, like Mr. Horrific, are like, oh man, and this is legit. This is totally fucking legit, bro.
Alex, let's also... Okay. Tell me something. What if Lex ends up decrypting something in the Fortress of Solitude, but then it ends up being, well, various gifs of Lois Lane twerking while in her Superwoman outfit?
Okay, Kevin, that's a plot point from the Ultimate comic whereby somebody leaks Black Widow and Tony Stark's sex tape on live TV.
Oh my goodness. What am I?
I swear I was fucking kidding.
Holy shit. I mean,
the things that I make up.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That turned out to actually
here's
be...
That sounds like, yeah, something James
Lex
Gunn would
Luthor.
put in.
Well, you know, what he
ends
does...
up leaking Lois Lane and Superman's sex tape where we just hear... we just see them getting into some of the kinkiest shit imaginable, and the general public is like, what the fuck are we watching? But then you hear this mode, oh, Clark! Oh, Clark!
I could just imagine,
Clark
like...
Kent is Superman?
No, and they're like, wait, why did I nab Clark Kent and Lois Lane's sex tape?
I could just imagine Lex's reaction.
Why
like,
does...
Hang on, hold on.
Hang on a second.
Guys.
Clark Kent...
Oh no!
Clark Kent and Lois Lane got Superman to be the cinematographer for their sex tape? What? That's weird.
And then Lex Luthor has a...
Is Superman a super cuck?
I can just imagine Lex freaking out like, wait, no, guys, this isn't... No! I grabbed the wrong footage! This isn't what you're supposed to look at! No!
It's just land of... They're just banging all over the Fortress of Solitude while Land of Confusion by Genesis plays in the background.
Yes, and their cinematographer is Supergirl.
Ah, Jesus.
Why? Why? Because Supergirl... Oh, very much... Why? Because
Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Because of that Once Upon a Time thing in the comics.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time... Once upon a time, Kara-Zor-El had a crush on her cousin.
It was
Excuse
fucking
me
weird.
while I... Ow. Yeah. Yeah, and then Clark goes back to the fortress and finds Alan Tudykbot has been stabbing himself in the head with a screwdriver in an attempt to escape from this film. Unfortunately, no such luck, because he gets repaired later on.
Sorry.
Yeah,
anyway,
no. Death really doesn't mean a whole lot in this
when
movie.
Robots.
Yeah, well, when they're robots, but just generally speaking. Because Superman practically dies like 5 or 6 times. Ultraman's probably coming back, even though he fell into a black hole at the end of the film. The Engineer and Lex's goons all survive things that should fucking kill you, but whatever.
Yeah, let's also keep in mind that Superman fucking killed somebody again in his quote-unquote debut film. And this time, like Superman 2, nobody breathes a fucking word.
Clocks by Coldplay would be a funnier song.
Okay, so now...
Just reading the chat.
And then meanwhile... Superboy and Miss Martian are just looking at Kara with some judgment, and they're like,
Kara.
Dude...
Kara, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Kara's like, this is fun, and Superboy's like, dude, you don't see me going around filming Ingar and Raven's sex tape. They don't even want me in their room when they're doing it.
No,
And McGann's like, I wait.
What? How many times do I have to kill you?
Once. And keep in mind, Alex, it is canon that Clark and Lois are freaks in the sheets.
Yes.
Jonathan Kent found their kinky gear.
Damn it, don't come into the bathroom when I'm trying to hide. If you don't mind me, I'm just gonna heal up.
So...
God damn it, what use is a fucking stun bomb?
So... And...
Yeah, the Fortress thing leads to Superman breaking into Lex's office.
A la
And that-
Homelander instead of a la himself.
Yeah. And, that, you know, that kind of bothers me, the way that goes.
The dog! Where's the dog?
Where's the dog?
The dog, Luther! Or you took the dog!
Where's the dog?
Where's the dog?
You give me back my dog. You have my permission to die.
Yes, you can tell that I'm the real Luigi with my M-shaped cap. Oh, hi, the real Luigi. What?
And so Superman goes off in this weird depressive state where he won't even take time out of his day to handle Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Like, no, let's just leave that to the Justice Gang.
Yeah, Mr. Terrific is currently dead on the floor while Green Lantern and Hawk Girl are writhing in agony. He's like that's not what happens in the movie, but what the fuck? How did you get in here without noticing either of us? Come on, give me something good. Give me something good. There we go. There we go. I got ammo. I got an axe.
Let's go.
All right.
So...
Oh, you had a name. So did Joel.
And Miss Martian would then be like, should we have a sex tape? McGann, where did that even come from?
I mean, you could transform into, like, somebody who would be really damning, and then I can disguise myself as an unaccompanied minor.
But aren't you already a minor, she says? I need an
See,
adult.
that's a reason, that is a reason why we shouldn't have a sex tape, Megan.
Even though they've more
That
than
is-
like, even though
That is a
even though as very much implied by Young Justice, Connor and McGann have done the deed.
God damn it. Fuck. Well, this is on me. But yes. And so that first look, that's where that's from, and Superman's not putting on his boots, he's actually taking them off. And then he decides to turn himself in, tells Lois that he loves her, yada yada.
Like we
And then-
give a shit.
Like we fucking care. Or so. What are you doing, Ellie? I was hitting the button. Hey, Kevin, I was pushing the button and nothing was occurring.
Really?
Yeah, no, I was hitting the fucking melee button, and for once, the game just didn't want to do that. It was like, melee, stealth attack, either one. I will take either one, and I'm dead. Come on. Lucky they're not biting any of your fingers off, Ellie. Oh, that's not foreshadowing.
Well,
It's funny how all the enemy models despawn when Ellie dies.
It's like they only show up when she's around.
Yeah.
They're like, Ellie, this is why you're not allowed to our get-togethers. Or see, you literally attract the enemies.
Yeah.
So... You want to know the worst part, Alex? McGann very much can say...
$1 DVD rentals, I miss those days.
McGann very much can and say, "Hey, I am an adult." When asked if you need an adult.
Well, anyways, come on. One of you need. Speaking of being unaccompanied, I need one of you to do really stupid right now.
There's a speech like right at the end of the movie where Lex tries to be like, "This is why I fucking hate you, stupid."
Oh yeah, the reason James Gunn is too online because he tried to do "this is the reason why you suck" speech, but he did it wrong.
And then Superman counters with a speech of his own that may as well have been the ending to Superman vs. the Elite, but without any of the gravitas that made that scene iconic as hell.
Yes. So yeah, that is skipping ahead quite a bit, but yeah, so Clark turns himself in, and Rumlow turns him over to Lex. Lex uses a fucking Zeta tube to transport Clark into the Minecraft dimension.
Yes, the same Zeta tube technology from Young Justice is in this.
Yep, it is the exact same design, down to the fucking lights. Down to the circles, down to the lights. It looks a bit more rudimentary, but it's a goddamn Zeta tube.
Yep. I still find it funny how in Invincible we had Zachary Quinto who as he's voicing Robot says this isn't like Star Trek. Like I'm like, you were Spock.
Yes.
In the
he was also Sylar in Heroes. Now Heroes is a great example of how not to do something, because Heroes Season 1, fucking amazing. One of the best seasons of superhero television I've ever seen. Heroes Season 2, you know, the first quarter of it was good. Then the writer's strike happened.
It all went to hell.
It all went downhill from there. And then they tried to reset it. Then they tried to reset it, and then they fucked it up. The show, anyways. But, that show had a lot of the same problems as this movie. But, you know, we'll get to that. And so, you know, Superman has no guarantee that they're going to take him to the same place they took Krypto. He's just hoping. And so they take him to the same place they took Krypto, and a white Martian works for Lex Luthor and ferries Superman to a box with Metamorpho, and Metamorpho uses kryptonite to hold Superman in the box, even though there's no yellow sun and he doesn't, you know, and his power would run out very quickly.
Metamorpho
when there's
can't
no
make
yellow
kryptonite.
sun. Metamorpho also can't make kryptonite. That's a very good point. That is against his power set. The human body does not have the necessary molecules to create kryptonite, because kryptonite is a radioactive element.
Yep.
What else? What else? Other problems. Oh yeah, so So there's a fairly decent idea for a scene in that, because the idea is that because Lex can't directly harm Superman, he's going to torture somebody who, you know, tortures civilians who know Superman and Superman has interacted with. That's not a bad idea. What is a bad idea is how Lex essentially has Superman at his mercy at this point, and he's like, I want to know who you're working with. It's the Justice Gang. I want to know, who raised you? Why do you fucking care? I'm sure you could just run some facial recognition through, you know, yearbooks of people who are around his age. I'm sure you'll be able to figure out that Clark Kent is Superman, you know? Well, he's not doing a great job at hiding it. Guy Gardner figured it out, for fuck's sake. Jimmy Olsen figured it out. Perry White figured it out. Everybody fucking knows except Lex Luthor. Level 9 intellect, and Lex Luthor is the dumbest man in this fucking plot. So he, like the falafel guy from earlier in the movie, he plays Russian roulette with him and fucking shoots him in the head. And he's like, oh, I guess I gotta go get more people to kill. And so he does, but then he doesn't come back. Fuck. Fuck. Thought that was gonna be enough, but no. And that gives... So... This plot takes a really circuitous route to get to where it needs to be. So, even though we have some of the best investigative reporters on the planet, and Superman should be... There's a Batman in this universe, by the way. We know that...
there is.
Yeah, we know that he exists in this universe, because we've seen him in Creature Commandos. Well, Dina should be a dead woman at this point, but whatever. And, so yeah, so Metamorpho's son is being held hostage. Lex Luthor also put a bunch of his ex-girlfriends in there, and, then there's also just other... There's a fucking... Like, Crypto's in there, and he's trapped in VR, chasing CGI squirrels that look like shit. I don't know if they're supposed to look like shit, or if they're, like, an unfinished effect. I don't know. And Lex just exposes his entire evil plan, essentially, in operation, including a legion of monkeys with brain caps on... trolling Superman online, which is a gag I'd expect from the boys, but not from Superman. In fact, it's basically, the Nazi chick. Stormfront. It's basically Stormfront's troll farm. But less good. Like, it's... Like, the troll farm was a stupid idea in The Boys, but at least it was fucking funny. This is like, I know that you're depicting me as this guy, you know? Because I know you hate Zack Snyder fans. Because you had that whole little slip-up where you, Yeah, go ahead.
Meanwhile, James Gunn gets killed off in a Rick and Morty episode featuring him and Zack Snyder.
Oh, that gave me an amazing clip that I can use in my Superman review.
I should have listened to Zack Snyder.
Yep. But yeah.
It's funny how Rick and Morty portrays Zack Snyder as this Giga Chad, while James Gunn is this skinny guy.
Yeah, and both of them, well, that's pretty much how they are in real life. Zack Snyder has a gym attached to his office, and James Gunn doesn't exercise, I don't think. But that's beside the point. So, the thing. Yeah, so, like, there was that whole thing where James Gunn, essentially said is like, oh, it's some bunch of 12-year-old Indian kids on Twitter. And it's like, okay, that's how little you think of the people who campaigned long and hard to get the director's cut of Justice League released. You know, at least he's not calling us bots. Because we're not fucking bots. Like I remember the fucking campaign, the Oscars campaign for that movie. I was goddamn part of it. Like, I voted in that thing. I got the word out to other people to vote. It's like, hey, if you want Zack Snyder's Justice League to have a good chance at winning the fan Oscar for this, you know, go vote here. It wasn't a coordinated bot campaign. It was a grassroots movement, and much in the same way as Release the Snyder Cut was. But, you know.
The response that people had to that this was pretty much the equivalent of leave the multi-billion-dollar company alone. A meme.
Yeah. That's the same woman model as the one earlier. That might be the same dude model as we had earlier.
That might be the same every model we had earlier.
That literally is! What the fuck? Oh, fuck's sake.
I am the Superman. That's exactly what I am.
Yeah, Superman, after the Russian roulette scene, he convinces Metamorpho to help him get out. Meanwhile, Eve Tessmacher from the in another dimension, in the outside of the not Phantom Zone, Eve Tessmacher from the Donner films, who is Lex Luthor's girlfriend, not his secretary, in this instance.
And then just imagine Lex Luthor,
who he takes with him fucking everywhere. He took her to the goddamn raid on the Fortress of Solitude.
Alex, let's also just imagine Lex pulling a Patrick Bateman, and as he's going to town on her and recording the whole thing, and you just hear Susudio.
I don't believe that Lex Luthor has sex. This is not sex with Luthor.
Oh, right. That would be Alfred Molina.
Yes.
There, I'm sexy Lexi. And we are.
Yeah, those are literally.
Luthor.
Those are literally the same models. That's the same woman model as from earlier, and that's the same dude model as from earlier. You have unique names for these characters. You went out of your way to name them and voice them differently, but you didn't give them different models.
That sounds stupid.
Anyways, yeah, so you did the fantastic job. First, you put the blackmail material across the fucking way from Metamorpho. Then you put Superman in the cell with the one guy who can possibly break him out. By the way, Metamorpho's powers don't let him hold the power of the sun on his hand. But considering that you pulled him being able to make kryptonite out of your ass, you know what you could have done? You know what you fucking could have done, Jimmy? You could have had him cycle through the different flavors of kryptonite and had him fall on, I don't know, silver kryptonite. The one that actually enhances Superman's powers.
Or even better, pink.
Oh, that would have just made all of the Yowie fans in the audience have such a good time. Apparently the shippers are calling Superman and Lois lesbian coded in that movie, and you know, I just have to say why, because they had a massive argument that led to them screaming at each other.
Or hell, Oh, you know. So, or how? Oh, if Superman and were to truly embrace. No, wait, this isn't a Bruce Timm show, so I can't do the if they were to embrace their inner horniness as a joke.
How is the WLF getting away with all these clones?
Oh no!
These are the same. No. It's the same dude as fucking earlier.
So
we got boss-eyed. We got the boss-eyed chick. We got the boss-eyed chick and the Asian dude. It's all the same people.
Okay. Okay.
And there's another one.
I gotta do my best impression of Snake. Okay.
I am a knife. I am a gun. Knife gun. Commencing virtuous mission.
That has to be one of my.
Impersonating Solid Snake.
Liquid!
That has to be one of my favorite.
What are you guys doing? Oh, whatever. It killed me anyways. I will be right back.
That has to be
the restroom.
That has to be one of my favorite gags from the Hayam Daisy comic. It's just. Just the fact that we have these two. The fact that we have Snake, who is just supposed to be like this giga chick, and got acting so casual about how these sorts of things, but then
All
he
right,
ends
I'm
up,
back.
Then he ends up just heartbroken over the fact that, boss, why would you do this?
Yeah, so Tessmacher's having an affair with Jimmy Olsen. Also, yeah, Otis, as played by Ned... God damn it. As played by Ned Beatty, is not in the original film. He shows up. He's not played by Ned Beatty anymore, obviously. But, you know, they just... More accurate to the comics, bringing in characters that were created for the movie. Pick a lane, Jimmy.
He can't stick to what?
No. Yeah, so Tessmacher is having an affair with Jimmy, who, you know, here's the thing. Eve in this movie, she's sweet. She's adorable.
Okay,
She's
Alex.
nice. Like, she's actually legitimately, you know, like she doesn't, the only reason she's with Lex is because she doesn't want to get thrown in the Minecraft dimension, right? And she's like actively helping facilitate his downfall. You know, she's always, you know, she's helpful and encouraging, and you know, generally quite positive. And Jimmy doesn't like her because she has weird toes.
That's retarded.
Because, you know, he's Quentin Tarantino, I guess.
Oh my god. And Jimmy's supposed to be a stud.
Yeah, Jimmy's constantly risen up the honeys in this fucking movie. I don't know why.
Unintentionally, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he walks down, later on in the movie, he actually walks through the red light district, and the hookers are all like, ooh, damn, boy, I'll pay you.
That's a thick ass. As boy.
Yeah. But yeah,
In case
so
you're wondering,
Tessmacher tells Jimmy, yeah, tells Jimmy, he's like, yeah, Superman's being held in the pocket dimension. And then Jimmy tells Lois, and Lois goes and talks to the Justice Gang about this. Now, the Justice Gang should already be like, hey, where's Superman?
but no.
He's been missing. He's been missing for a little while. Well, hey, Mr. Terrific, maybe you should, you know, use those nano trackers you put in his cup of coffee that he got last time he was here to track where his last known location was and figure out what the fuck is going on with our friend. They don't do that until Lois prompts them.
Which is stupid.
Uh-huh, and so she and Mr. Terrific go to Lexi's beachside base and find is like, hey!
Cut that shit out.
Hey, Lex is having an evil plan by this place, so, you know. You know, let's put a stop to that.
Yeah.
And then there's a really cool fight scene. It is shot by the guy who did The Flash, so it suffers
terrible.
as a it looks really bad, but the choreography's decent.
And then, of course, we also
That's
have
something.
that one scene where Superman gets kicked in the dick.
Oh yeah, that happens
God.
later on. Yeah, Superman so Superman breaks out of the Phantom Zone, and with the help of, you know, Lois and Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho. Oh, and then the portal closes up because it, you know, they said this is like, hey, we can't hold these things open for a super long time, so, you know, it's gonna cause problems, and then it does, which isn't terrible in terms of writing, but it does get worse. And Mr. Terrific is like, hey, take him away from here. He's still suffering from kryptonite poisoning. I'm gonna try and get this thing open. Meanwhile, you know, Lex is apparently not at all concerned with the fact that his beachside military base with a bunch of tents instead of buildings has been taken over by Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane. So that's cool. That's fun. Nobody cares. Nobody cares enough to radio Lex and say, "Hey, Lex, they're, you know, Mr. Terrific landed this ship here, and he's playing some music, and he's fucking our shit up." Like, nothing? Nobody? No Mayday call whatsoever? You just don't care.
That's too much effort.
And that'd be sensible. We'd have to actually connect the fucking sequences of this movie together.
There were sequences?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's actually kind of shocking, but yeah, this movie doesn't follow a sequence of cause and effect so much as things just happen, but there is a sequence of events, and that one thing follows the next. So, Lois takes Clark to the Kent farm to heal up. I don't know why she doesn't just take him to the fortress to use the healing chair, but, you know, she takes him to Kent farm, and Clark has a heart-to-heart with Pa Kent. Pa Kent, come on, Pa Kent, they're nice, they're good. They're like the only decent performances in this film, because they have the only scene in this movie that isn't fucking embarrassing weapons-grade cringe. Pa says, like, it doesn't really matter what they say you're here for, what their purpose was for you, or even what the rest of that message said. It means more about who you are, of what you wanted the rest of that message to mean. It means more to the state of who you are than what the rest of this actually means. the idea is that it's like he has made, he's made good choices in his life, and he's chosen to help people with his powers. It's like, with great power comes great responsibility, yada yada, and this blah blah blah. This film does a very poor job of explaining that with great power comes great responsibility, because the whole thing with the Moravia conflict is just nonsense. They don't linger on any of those concepts in any
meaningful way.
Any significant or meaningful fashion. But, why bother?
Indeed.
Apparently people will just eat this shit up.
Yep.
But, they break out, take Clark to the Kent farm, like I said, and, then the Bravian invasion happens again, and Superman suits up. Like, Martha has a really neat scene where she says, I cleaned your boots, I'll go ahead and get them for you. And I like that. Like, I appreciate that. We don't get to see him put on the suit. In fact, we don't get to see him take off his civilian clothes. There's no shirt rip, there's no
Even Cavill had
putting
that.
There's no shirt rip, there's no costume, there's no him putting the fucking civilian clothes back on top of the costume. Spider-Man had that.
Yeah.
Superman 78 had that.
Zack Snyder's Justice League had that.
Yeah, Justice League. Justice League did that. Like, there wasn't really a scene where we could have had the shirt rip in Man of Steel. But in CSJL, we eventually got something like that. Yeah.
Imagine that.
This film, it was like, that was one of the things people complained about, is like, oh, there wasn't any shirt rip scenes or anything, and we don't get to see him go from Clark Kent to Superman. We don't get to see him go from Clark Kent to Superman in this. Arguably, there could have been arguably there could have been a shirt rip scene in Batman v Superman, but I'm 99% sure that would have been in the other hour of that film that we still haven't seen.
No. What the shirt rip scene in question would be Lex's goons tearing off the top half of Batman's costume, a la Batman the Animated Series.
I was thinking more along the lines of Clark learning that Lois is in danger at the start of the film and making a quick change, which actually, you know what, that would have been really neat. I think that would have been a good idea to have. I was like, hey, just like an additional little 5 minutes is like, hey, Lois and Clark are over here, and then wherever the hell, Africa, investigating this thing. She's
gonna take a lot to drag me away from you.
Yeah, she's gonna get a exclusive interview with Jock or whatever his name is, and
there's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do.
He says something like, be careful. Fucking hell. And then when he like hears over the radio or something that she's in danger, somebody else like Jenny or Lombardo or whoever, or is like Clark, and then he's just gone on, and you cut to him pulling his shirt open, and then the next thing you see is Superman in flight.
No. Oh, what we first see is then suddenly very naked man.
Yeah, and I think that would have a lot of criticisms that people had of the early sections of that film, because
a lot of this would be a call back to that Superman movie that started the Tomorrowverse.
Oh, Man of Tomorrow, yeah,
Man of Tomorrow, where Superman debuted very naked. Was that the cries of Naked Man?
Terrible, terrible excuse of a movie that this film is essentially the same as.
Yup. In all of the worst ways.
And so, Superman suits up to go help out in Moravia. And then, when Mr. Terrific calls in and says, "Hey, Lex is trying to break the fucking Earth in half," excuse me, with the Phantom Zone, Minecraft dimension, whatever the hell it is. Excuse me.
Which, by the way, a lot of people seem to not. A lot of people seem to not be so concerned with that, compared to, say, a certain scene from The Steely Man.
Yeah. So Superman gets sidetracked on the way to Moravia because he goes to deal with the thing in Metropolis.
Meanwhile, the thing in question, it's clobbering time.
And so he fights with Ultraman and the Engineer, and they do a whole bunch of up, down, all and around, and then they come back to Earth, and Superman takes them. They try to choke him with nanobots,
which people try to insist that Henry Cavill Superman wouldn't be able to survive.
They somehow forgot that he already faced off against nanobots in Man of Steel and fucking won.
Yeah.
Also, like, the question that I have is, like, why didn't he just fly into the sun and burn off all the nanobots? Is it just because James Gunn wanted to have that disgusting scene of of Superman and pulling the bots out of his throat?
Yeah.
While
he says.
While the main theme of the movie plays, actually the music, I have to complain about the music here. So the music it sounds really cheap. Everybody else has said this too, but
yes,
it's Hans Zimmer did the score for Driving Miss Daisy entirely on a computer, and I don't think anybody knew that. No. Hans Zimmer does a lot of his scores as programmed synths, actually. I don't think anybody really knew that.
So remember,
like,
we had to have the Triangle Bandit and not invade Disney's studios.
There are orchestral recordings of it, but there's a lot of sequencing going on there, and a lot of it is high quality enough that they don't have to go back and re-record it with real instruments. And this sounds like I scored it in a bootleg copy of FL Studio 99. Like, the plugins are all awful. And then like, the occasional time it's actually decent. They're just, like, Lois Lane's theme in this, it's the fucking love theme from Man of Steel and BVS. It's the one that plays is for Lois and Clark. Like, it's the very same. It's da 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 da. It's just played a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I don't get it. What are you doing?
It's like the film is actively trying to hurt you. And then there's also numerous amounts of times where they ape the fuck off of the John Williams score. Because apparently John Williams' score is the only score for Superman that should exist.
Yeah, it's very much John Williams at home.
even though people have very much accepted Shirley and the usual crap out at DC Animation.
Well, that's one of the problems this film has. It desperately does not want to have its own identity in some places, and then in others, it's trying to be too unique. Like, even in my adventures with Superman. I'm looking for supplies, Dina.
I'm looking for a man named Ebenezer Scrooge. Have you seen him? Then you hear Patrick Stewart go, "Ah, humbug."
Ah, humbug.
There you are, you bastard.
Okay, lead the way. I don't have any... Lead the way. Come on. Is it this way?
No.
Probably not. Anyways. Yeah, so Superman can't get to Bravia. That whole thing, the kid holding up the flag with the symbol of the House of L on it, that doesn't go anywhere. It's the Justice Gang who intervenes in Bravia.
Because of course they do.
Like, throughout this whole sequence, I was like, how are they gonna pay this off? Oh, they're fucking not. This is the easiest setup and payoff. Hell, you know what they should have done? They should have had him breaking out of the Phantom Zone lead directly into him intervening in the Bravia conflict. And it's the easiest payoff. It's like the kid is fucking begging Superman to come help. The easiest payoff is just you have like a bullet with his name on it flying, soaring, crack, boom, Superman's there. But no, it's Guy Gardner. And the whole idea is...
sucks.
And the whole idea is Superman inspires people to be better heroes.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, do you know who already did that? Zack Snyder. Do you know who already did that? Me. I have to say, it was like, nope, completely unbiased.
I mean,
Because I am a dyed-in-the-wool Zack Snyder fanboy, and it is my own work, but
I mean,
completely unbiased. I did better.
I mean, how my Superboy ends up.
Yeah, you
bringing out the best in game.
Yeah, you did that better. I did it better. Fucking Superman versus the Elite did it better. Zack Snyder did it better. Everyone the fuck did it better. Come on. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Ellie can get her, James Sunderland on. And so, yeah, Ultraman is revealed as, like, oh, a guy who looks like Black Noir was an evil Superman clone who has the name of an evil alternate universe version of Superman, and he's an evil Superman clone.
Coming?
Who could have fucking seen that coming?
Oh wait, we did.
And so he, like, this is one of those unusual cases where I get to say, I have a black belt in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, and I am an instructor in the art, and this somehow becomes relevant in this Superman film. So Superman is gotten into an armbar by Ultraman. The rest of the fight was okay up to this point, but, it then becomes worse. So Superman gets Crypto to destroy Lex's machines that he uses to monitor the situation. He has to call out all of Ultraman's moves, which is really, really dumb.
Yeah,
and that's not,
a lot of time.
But like you can't do that. That is not how a fight works. I can't, if somebody is in my head giving me advice during a fight, that's going to cause a problem.
You know, yelling
'Cause
dodge is more distracting than helpful.
Yeah, Team 4-Star got this shit right a decade ago and they did it for free.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, they actually...
It's amazing how that line from the DMC video came back.
Yes, in this context.
Yeah, so... Yeah, so... Ultraman gets Superman in an armbar, right? Now, the armbar... Can anybody here who's familiar with MMA?
Nope.
Okay, do you know how an armbar works?
No.
Okay, so an armbar is you grab the arm, and you basically you're putting pressure upwards through the elbow. Now, Superman, in order to get out of this fucking armbar, dislocates his shoulder. He pulls a Martin Riggs.
Oh wait, I actually think I know what you're talking about, Alex, because that sounds like the thing that Griffith ended up doing with Guts in their first fight.
Yes, except for the fact that he actually did put pressure on the shoulder. It just wasn't in the animation. It wasn't in the right direction to dislocate the shoulder. Oh god damn it! The morning sickness has kicked in.
Alex, keep in mind which animation. Because
the Golden Age arc, the movies.
So the '97 anime did it better.
A little bit, yeah. It's one of those things where technically it'll work, but it's like not ideal. I mean, especially with the size disparity, I would have recommended something else. But it's not as egregious as this.
Keep in mind at that point, Guts and Griffith's size difference was not nearly as apparent as it will be in the later portion of the Golden Age arc.
Yeah. So the big thing with this is Superman dislocates his shoulder so that he can flip Ultraman into an oncoming bus and throw him into a black hole, where he will die forever and watch the death of the universe along with him. As opposed to the quick, painless death that Superman gave General Zod.
With the rear naked choke.
Who purposefully put himself in that position, as opposed to Ultraman, who was just a pawn, you know? But, you know. Yes, I know. So, yeah. That's not how that works.
That's not how any of this works.
The big thing is, the way you get out of an armbar is you have to turn your arm and muscle up, and considering this is Superman...
That should have been easy.
It should have been fucking possible. Like, just do that. Don't have him dislocate his shoulder. That's not gonna help anything.
That's just painful.
Oh, god damn it. Well, at least I managed to. Yeah. In fact, it's actually going to be deleterious to his ability to fight here. Yeah, and then the Clark goes back to the fortress, and he has like another interview with Lois, and Jimmy and Perry say, like how long have they been? Oh, I didn't see that. How long have they been going out? No, because Lois and Clark kiss in the lobby of the Daily Planet in that stupid fucking scene from the trailers. His cape is CGI now, and it's worse, and it's awful. Man of Steel had CGI capes back in 2013, and it looked really good. You couldn't tell when it cut from the CGI cape to the real cape and back.
Yeah, because it was almost seamless.
Yeah. And they also had time to finish the fucking visuals. The movie... Apparently they tried to claim that this film was done like weeks before Oh, come on, I was trying to get up on top of that car. They tried to claim that the film was done weeks ago, but they kept changing shit. Like, there's scenes, there's shots in the film that don't match up with what's in the trailers. That lean forward that Corin Sweat did during the interview, that doesn't happen. And, like, I know it's not uncommon for trailers to not use final footage, but one of the big problems that this film actively has is that they just appear to be not doing a whole lot to disguise the fact that this film has issues. It's like they just don't care.
Yep.
Yeah, so Clark goes back to the fortress, and there's another new robot, and Kara shows up, and she's drunk. She picks up Crypto and fucks off. And then we get more exposition, because exposition is their native language over on Krypton as well. And
then we also have a scene where Superman and Mr. Terrific are just talking about
looking at a crack in the building. Yeah, that's from the set photos somebody took. And everybody, it was like, huh, I wonder what this is about. Turns out it's fucking nothing.
Yep. It essentially just sounds like a James Gunn attempt at doing Zack Snyder.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah, but they'll probably think that it was one of the zombies that did it.
The zombies did it, this movie.
Oh, the writer-director was clearly brain dead, because I don't think he could make those decisions otherwise. But yeah, what am I looking at here? Am I trying to go up here? Yes, I am. Yeah, Clark just tells Gary and the other robot that is like, hey, you know, Kara likes to party, get drunk, but she can't get drunk on Earth because there's a yellow sun. And so she has to go to places with a red sun. How does she get there? How does she get back? How is she still drunk when she shows up in our solar system, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and also there's this weird CGI shot of Hawkgirl's face.
There's a lot of weird CGI regarding Hawkgirl. Hawkgirl also kills, the Prime Minister of Rushreal by dropping him. I'm sure that's not going to have any kind of implications on international relations. They're giving Superman shit for stopping a war and threatening the guy, and she literally kills him. Speaking of literally kills, Crypto and Clark also kill a bunch of Lex's henchgoons in that,
and then there's also the fact that
in that scene
that during
where
that during said speech, after Superman retorts with his own grandiose speech, Crypto shows up and beats the crap out of Lex to the point where I'm like,
bodies Lex
to essentially similar degrees that Hulk bodied Loki. But here's the thing: Loki has the physiology of a Jotun and / Asgardian, so he could tank a lot of punishment, and despite the fact that it's the goddamn Hulk.
Yeah, he is.
Lex is a normal ass human being.
Yeah, he is a god. Lex is not.
There's a difference.
And yet Lex survives Crypto beating the hell out of him. But before this,
Oh, and Superman tells Crypto to stop in the most passive way imaginable. Stop.
I would
don't
too.
Come back.
Stop, don't come back. Yeah, that one. And I would have, frankly, I would have just killed him and kidnapped my dog. But, you know.
Yeah. You would have gone John Wick on his ass.
Yeah. But, yeah, the whole... That scene from the trailer, they, like, laser the fuck out of the raptors, which are what Lex's henchgoons are called.
Let's try spinning. That's a good trick.
Yeah, and so apparently none of them died, even though they definitely should have. Superman doesn't kill, except
oh, and then there's also... Oh, and then there's... Yeah, almost like it was necessary when... And Superman had to kill Zod.
Yeah.
See, guys, your Lord and Savior literally validated Man of Steel in that way.
One of those things that really bugged me about this film... so you remember how in the 4Kids dub of Sonic X, they said, everybody
conveniently evacuated Station Square.
Yeah, Station Square was completely empty when chaos flooded the place. This is like that, except that they show it happening, and somehow it works. Like, I don't believe you.
Okay,
I don't think you're correct here.
Okay, I don't believe you. To quote the Kingdom Hearts in a Nutshell videos.
Yeah, because they have this evacuation, right?
Yes.
And nobody dies. Nobody gets hurt. Everybody gets out of the city, but there's still billions of dollars worth of property damage caused by either Clark, by Lex, by the engineer, by Ultraman. They just, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
How does nobody... How... They keep saying it's like, oh, nobody died. I don't buy that. There's no fucking consequences. Like, Superman, the thing that... Marvel had consequences for one of Hero's fucked up saves back in the 70s. Like, Peter Parker fucked up saving Gwen Stacy and broke her goddamn neck.
Yeah. Yeah, we remember. Or I let Gwen Stacy die.
Yeah. Alright, I will be right back again, but... yeah, no, this film was terrible. And... funny thing is, opening weekend, even with the Thursday previews, even with the previews taken into account, still didn't make as much money as Man of Steel, and Man of Steel opened in fewer territories.
Yep, and China kind of hates this movie. That should already tell you everything. Yeah, Damon, as you can tell, this movie is terrible.
Yep. But then again, I understand you guys are critical of modern DC.
Yeah. And it's like, I wish we could go back to some of the days of way back in like the DCAU and all that. But the thing is like, keep in mind that quite a few of the DCAU actors are gone. Paul Dini isn't really working with DC, all that much anymore.
Yeah.
And then there's also the fact that then there's also the fact that a lot of the writers that used to work on DC animation are no longer around.
Yeah, the scars are here. Why exactly didn't the WLF dress up like the Scars when they came to Jackson?
So yeah,
I had one of those mouse pads.
Yeah, it's like we have. It's like people will try to tell. People will try to insist that we should
respect the past, embrace the future. That's the thing people keep saying, and it keeps not happening.
Yeah, especially on their end.
Yeah, no respect for the past.
Translation: they only want
They want a one-way relationship. They don't want this. They don't want it to actually go both ways. And frankly, I mean, like, I don't think I could have it both ways at this point, because there's really no reason for this film to have been a reboot. This, like, you could have, assuming we reshuffle things, delete all of James Gunn's horrible dialogue, and just keep, like, some of the general plot beats. This could have taken place in the DCEU.
Yes,
just
yes,
you could have kept your cast. You could have kept your cast. You could have kept everything. And, like, this doesn't. There's nothing about this film that screams. We could have kept Cavill. We could have kept Amy Adams. We could have kept
Lawrence Fishburne.
We could have kept everyone. I mean, it was like, because that CIA guy wasn't actually Jimmy Olsen. It was like, you can say, hey, we're introducing a new photographer. He's Jimmy Olsen. It was like, didn't you die in the desert? And it was like, no, that guy's name was John Smith or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, my identity got stolen by the CIA. Dang it. And then, like, because the Flash royally fucked up the timeline in his solo movie,
like he normally does,
as he is wont to do, you could have brought back Diane Lane and Kevin Costner, and nobody would have blinked an eye at it. If you really want to do that, and if you really want to have another moment with Pa Kent, you can have it. You can have everything you wanted, and you could have not pissed off the DCEU fan base. You could have. Bringing Cavill back for this movie would have sold more tickets. Objectively speaking, like, there are fans of him specifically. There are Snyder fans who would have watched it. Fans of him specifically who would have watched it. Snyder fans who would have watched it. There are, people who just, is like, hey, this is a new DC thing. You got a, better word of mouth than the others. It's like, oh, there's some shenanigans at hand after the events of the Flash. Sure, it would have been more than, people wrestling fans promised us a Superman Shazam versus Black Adam movie. Would have gotten them on board. But no. This film went out of its way to piss off every conceivable fan base, and now they're wondering why exactly it's somehow not making any fucking money.
Gee, I wonder why.
And then they keep bringing the budget down. Like, they said, oh, it was $250 million. No, it's $225 million. Now it's $175 million. And I saw one source say, I don't know if that was an official claim or what, but the point is, they also went back and said, oh, the marketing budget was going to be around $200 million. It's about $150 million standard for a big tentpole movie. And now they expect us to believe that they only spent $100 million on it, when the industry standard, as was said, is $150 million, and they were planning on replicating the Barbie ad campaign. Now, I can totally believe that they didn't necessarily wind up using all of that $150 million or $200 million in the budget, in the advertising budget that they had, because the advertising for this film has been fucking woeful. But they clearly they're clearly massaging the numbers, which it's the same thing they did before. It's the same thing they did with Black Adam, because they said, oh, Black Adam only cost this much amount, and it was like, no, actually it cost more than that, which means that it's not, it didn't break even. And that's Hollywood accounting for you, but... Like, this movie could have legs. It could earn some more money, but Fantastic Four opens in another week. Jurassic World is already eating its lunch. And, just generally speaking, the people who needed to be impressed by this weren't. Like, the most ardent James Gunn defenders and Snyder haters are not on board with this film. Like, it delighted me to no end when I saw that EFAP was not looking forward to this movie. Because they like Gunn, and they don't like Zack. Like, they're not particularly on board with Snyder's work, but they defended the Suicide Squad. They didn't defend Peacemaker, because I don't think you can. And they didn't defend, Creature Commandos. Like, Fringy stopped watching Creature Commandos. And I think they all stopped watching Peacemaker after about 3 episodes. And they did not have a good reaction to that. Gary from Nerdrotic also didn't have a good reaction to that. He is not a Snyder fan by any means.
No.
Lots of people are not too keen on this. Like I said, at Low Platoon, Friday Night Tights, those guys, they're not happy. This film is not doing good with the people you needed to impress. And this isn't just, like, Jeremy Johns is saying that this film is awful. Like, he has a bottle of, I think it's like a bottle of Glenlivet or Glenfiddich or something in his thumbnail, and is like, oh, you better drink some whiskey with this. Because the movie's not good.
People got on Jeremy Johns for saying that, and I'm like, wow, what a way to turn on.
Maybe it's in the fucking bag. Yeah, I can't wait for Chris Guntman's review of this, where he says fucking nothing. Actually, he might not. If he doesn't put out a review, that'll just tell you that he thinks the film is awful. But this is not a movie, almost. Because there's so many technical issues. The editing's terrible. The cinematography and CGI are awful. The story is atrocious, like I said. Abigail Anderson, a giant muscle beast named Abigail.
And who may or may not actually be a relative of Senator Armstrong.
Yeah.
With how many steroids she's been popping.
Yeah. So that's the big reboot. That's the big thing that they spent $363 million on.
And it's not going to do so hot up by the second weekend.
Excuse me, and an additional $150 million at least on their marketing budget. No matter what they try and say, this film is not as cheap as they try to claim.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And theaters are taking a lot of fucking money off of these movies nowadays. Like, this is gone are the days of Disney being able to demand a 75, 100% take at the box office, right?
are the days of just the... And gone are the days of theaters actually being relatively affordable. Now, also keep in mind, and a lot of the same people that are actively trying to defend and the lackluster or box office turnouts for
Tell me.
this
Oh, you don't
film.
have anything. Oh yeah, they're saying there's a heat wave in England and COVID in America.
Go fuck yourself, Joe.
Oh, that's
Russo.
a good one.
Oh,
We've been out of the quarantine for years now.
Those idiots shouldn't be taken seriously. But the virus. Oh, please, that was 5 years ago, bruh.
And keep in mind, and this is the same excuses. This is the same excuses that they make for why TSS was such a massive disappointment. Because the thing is that TSS has failed on the box office, and people blame that mostly on the pandemic when Godzilla vs. Kong, which came out months before that,
Had much better box office, and it was a simultaneous release.
Yep. Made nearly at $500 million.
Uh-huh. It's almost like DC Films had been doing poorly since Wonder Woman 84.
Yep. The only one that came close to making $500 million was Black Adam.
Yeah, and then eventually when Aquaman 2 came out, that movie did well, surprisingly, but you know. Yeah, Black Adam.
Not even remotely
Black Adam didn't
close
make enough money to do success.
Not even remotely close to not even remotely close to Aquaman and 1's reception.
I know.
That movie made over $1 billion.
Well, you know, Amber Heard is box office poison. Everybody knows that, but they didn't. But for some reason, they didn't recast her,
which is stupid.
Yeah. I understand why Zack didn't do it for Justice League, because he would have had to reshoot all of her scenes rather than just shooting in one more instance. But you know. And then later on, it's fucking absurd. And they canceled. You know what we missed? You know what we didn't get because of this? We didn't get Christopher McQuarrie's Superman 2. Christopher McQuarrie was supposed to make a Superman sequel, well, a Man of Steel sequel, and we got that. Missed out on Hal Jordan as we missed out on Tom Cruise as Hal Jordan as a result. We missed out on more seasons of Superman and Lois.
Yep.
New season of My Adventures with Superman, delayed till next year, so that James Gunn's ego can be the only Superman thing out. You are very stupid. I'm not talking to James Gunn, I'm talking to this NPC. But then again, she is in a Naughty Dog game.
Which is a given.
Yes.
Well, it looks like in the pit of 100 trials, we're a little more than halfway there. Halfway there. Halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
Alex, you know what reference I was going for.
I know what reference you're talking about. I know what that is.
Basically, hey, Alex, it was the bit in that one episode of SpongeBob where Patrick and SpongeBob and Sandy were competing over which is better, or the land critters or the sea critters. And during their second contest, which was a race to the Krusty Krab, SpongeBob had a record player playing his voice repeatedly on loop
of going, yeah, well, I'm already halfway there, halfway there, halfway there. And I'm like, oh, jeez.
Fucking hell. Dina, you need to take care of the in-room things. What? Oh, come on. Yeah, apparently some new news came out about Dragon Ball. According to the voice actress for launch, the Japanese voice actress for launch, she actually asked Toriyama to write her out of the show rather than because she was moving.
Yeah, because she wasn't going to be able to perform as launch, and the Japanese cast kind of has some sway over what Toriyama does, because, you know, Yajirobe was created explicitly for the purpose of giving Mayumi Tanaka a character to voice in the show while Krillin was dead. Hence why Yajirobe in Japanese is voiced by Mayumi Tanaka.
They should have gotten Sonny Strait to voice him in English.
And then we got Mike McFarlane doing his best muscle man voice. Hey, get your hands up and get this!
I feel like what would have probably reminded Goku of Krillin in that instance would probably have to be some of Yajirobe's mannerisms. It's still funny how even in Z they do have interactions together.
Hang on, I have to craft a health kit.
I'll be right back, he says.
Sprinting is loud and may reveal your position to enemies. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I kid you not, guys. There's a point in this dungeon where you end up facing off, like, against, I don't know, like multiple Amazy Daisies at once. And if you kill them all, you get
down the linear pathway.
You get an ass load of experience points.
Wow, this isn't heavy-handed foreshadow or heavy-handed parallelisms to the Abbey scene from earlier. I didn't see Tina come in, but okay. Oh, how convenient. There's nothing.
Ooh, Dark Lakitu.
Nothing barricading our way.
What?
No shit. of supplies in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, no, I'm not letting
It's a video game, of course there is. Trying to turn off my flashlight, but the game hasn't. No, they're not letting me turn off the flash. Oh, it turned it off by itself. Who the fuck was Mike? Which one of the 50 identical guys I killed was Mike?
It was the one with the beard.
No shit.
So...
Dina, I was counting on you. Dina, you bitch. So what were you about to say?
Let's... I'll save this for later.
Try to kill the one on the right, then. Oh, come the fuck on. Dina! You whore!
What did she do this time?
It's more what she didn't do.
What didn't she do this time?
She didn't kill those fucking infected.
What were you hoping she would do?
Kill them.
How?
There we go.
Ooh. I get more star points. Level up!
I can just walk through here, essentially at my leisure, as the zombies and the wolves eat each other. No regrets whatsoever. These bastards deserve each other.
Nope. No regrets whatsoever.
No such thing as an innocent wolf. In the game,
hello.
I mean, not in real life. There we go. All of a sudden, train to Busan. Train to Washington. Apparently the new Train to Busan movie is not going to be... Sorry, the American Train to Busan movie is not going to be a remake. It's going to be a movie set in the same universe. It's just a different train and going to a different place. That's cool. Jules. I hope you made it out and find this. The two of us got in a minor dust-up with some clickers, but we're still in one piece. Hold up in here for the night to lick our wounds. Long dead body of a man watched over us. Why we're doing this? This infection really was the warning. Better to live off the land than remain in this rotting mess. Zachary says if we keep heading north, we'll have a Seraphite encampment in the next couple of days. He calls it Haven, and they built it all themselves. Hearing him talk about it was hard not to get inspired, even optimistic. I pray for your safety. I hate to think of what Isaac will do if his goons catch you. Holding my breath, waiting for a sign, blah, blah, blah. Nobody fucking cares about your stupid fucking faction wars. This shit is why humanity is doomed in this universe. The wolves, the scars, the Seraphites, all this nonsense. Yeah. Duh, Dina! Yeah. We're not exactly exempt from that, but, you know. At the very least, we are out here for a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
Much to the game's chagrin, this is a good cause. Out here with one directive, and it is kill all sons of bitches. Somehow this trading cart is still intact, even though it's underground in the water. It's a boomer from Left 4 Dead. Playing better game.
Zombies.
And blackjack.
And hookers.
Yes. That's probably the way forward, so I'm going to go over here.
How did you guys feel about that one episode of Futurama where Bender challenged Fry to a children's card game?
That was great. So this is the way. This is not the way forward.
I'd like to think that that what ended up inspiring that video was a lot of severe lack of drugs.
I can't do Bender. I was freaking trying to I need drugs so that I cannot have all these weird visions.
You're gonna have these weird visions regardless of whether or not you have drugs in your system. % maximum health. Is there anything else we were planning on talking about this week? Because Superman mostly took up a bit of time. Go over the news. Oh, there's a new Gumball series. It's not oh yeah, Warner Brothers and Paramount had themselves a little scuffle, and now
Now, South Park is not on Paramount Plus anymore, or HBO Max.
Where is it?
On DVD and Blu-ray.
So, Alex, how do you feel about the idea that once upon a time a character in Yu Yu Hakusho had the voice actor doing an impression of DMX?
Knock, knock.
And his entrance beat was of In the Club.
50 Cent song for DMX.
So I gotta ask this one question. And do you rap as good as you fight?
Hell yeah!
Oh, thank God. The joke being that Yusuke immediately assumes that he's a terrible fighter, but Rando genuinely believes that he's a good rapper.
Oh.
So
You know, that violence is really cheap to have happen off screen.
So we ended up discussing this in like a prior stream, and sometimes I like how Nick Landis ended up doing this whole thing with his sound design for some of his stuff in Yu Yu Hakusho Bridge, because you remember what I talked to you about and how he created the sound of someone's arm being broken.
Yes.
It was.
Not your flashlight. Okay.
Yeah, it was the sound of a Gatorade bottle being crinkled.
Ah, for fuck's sake.
And he ended up doing a. He ended up he ended up reverbing that sound.
Yeah. It's neat. It's always neat how you do stuff like that. I created a laser sound effect out of me slapping a 5-pound weight plate.
And as for the sound effect of when the last hit that Yusuke gives Shuren and before he turns into Randa, oh, that was the sound of another bottle being slightly smushed. Which I have
Apparently
to say,
the FBI seized a bunch of illicit video game marketplaces, as they called it. So that's interesting. Apparently Dragon Age of the Veilguard got Game of the Year. I don't know how that happened, considering other games were released that year.
yeah.
That's very odd. Shamblers release clouds of corrosive gas. You don't say.
Now for the actual chain chomp.
I hit the dodge button.
It didn't work. How did I guess?
Shamblers cannot be stealth killed. You don't fucking say.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is that Shamblers have enough intelligence to summon a giant robot straight from the ether.
I'm probably gonna head out.
Well, first I gotta clear enough of this damn pit to save, so I'm gonna be here for a while.
Alright. Well, I will attempt to get past this while you were doing that then.
Alright. Oh dear. Ooh, a Bushi.
Drop something. Please tell me you dropped something. Please tell me any of these fuckers dropped something.
They proceed not to drop anything just to spite you.
Journal entry added.
Journal entry.
Probably generated like all the other zombies do. Oh, would you look at that? It's a convenient rolling cart that can be propped underneath here. Please don't. Guess there's no going back that way. Something Uncharted happened, except it wasn't really Uncharted, it's more like Discount Uncharted.
Somehow. You know, you should have said something Uncharted 3 happened.
Yeah, Uncharted 3.
But for something really stupid, it's Uncharted 4.
Oh, yeah. Maybe even, what is it called? Lost Legacy?
Yeah.
I don't care, I'm looking for supplies.
Oop,
Code again. Give me a soda and the code is yours. Director of survival in the suburbs got abandoned. Called it a miracle. Divine retribution. Okay. That's neat, I guess. Here's the combination. 5152 question. 152 question. Okay, enough hints if you can't figure the rest out. I'm with the wrong man. Enjoy. Okay. 52 question. $43. I literally just guessed. Why did you bother opening that when there's nothing in there? I'm just running along mashing buttons. It's a belt.
So we're gonna level up next. Anyway, let's test out the new ability, Supernova.
Okay, that's what passes for a long gun holster, huh? Still can't hold an extra pistol, even though you usually just shove one in a pocket. Alright, now I actually am gonna head out. See you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Yay, I leveled up again. Yay! Are you kidding? Yay! How do you feel about the Pit of 100 Trials, Damon?
Well, it looks challenging. Well, I'll have to get to that eventually, because I haven't really made much progress in the remake yet.
Yeah, wait till you're wait till you're around where I'm at in the game before you attempt this, because this is a challenging son of a bitch.
I believe that.
Okay, hey little man. Down 2 levels, because I want to at least get out of... I want to save and get out of here, and then commit an entire part of the next time to doing this whole thing.
let's use this. Haha. Booyah. Alright, so I'm gonna head all the way back up. And then we'll continue. And we'll commit to going through this next time. So, next time on Mario 1000 Year Door, we're gonna go through the whole of the Pit of 100 Trials.